Ooh, y'all. If you come in, give us a like, thumbs up, share it out. Let's see, I'll give it a few minutes, see who comes in. I got homework to do. Still getting used to my new schedule. We'll see after my 30 days we can put in to go later. So I'm gonna or go to a different schedule. I still want the same days off. I just want to go later. Hey Kathy, what's up? How was your turkey day? And can you hear me okay? I hope I got the Bluetooth off. Do I got the Bluetooth off? 1 minute. 1 minute, y'all. 1 minute. Okay. I had talked to Linda early on the Bluetooth, and if I don't disconnect it, okay, y'all see me okay. All right. I had talked to Linda earlier on the Bluetooth, and if I don't disconnect it, y'all won't be able to hear me. Hold on. Hey Jay, what's up, brother in Christ? Mr. J, how was your turkey day? It's just me. So I pretty much relaxed here at the house. I only had the Thanksgiving day off, and then I had to work the day after. Um, so it was good. But I cooked what y'all seeing. If you go to the community board, I got tons of food in the refrigerator. I picked up a spiral ham. I like to look through, but they didn't have a lot. So when I got back to the store, because the day before I went, I like ham sandwiches. So I always try to get a ham. And then if I want to make beans or something, you can use a ham bone, and you can use any leftover ham for different dishes. So I'll probably do like a bean casserole or something like that. But other than that, it was okay. I just kind of relaxed, and I got out on the grill, and I got a little prime rib. I mean, prime rib is high. They last year was on sale $5.99 a pound, which wasn't bad. And I was able to get, I think it had 3 bones in it for, bone-in prime rib, which wasn't bad. It was thick, and I actually was able to give some, make some and give it away. This year, it only had 2 ribs because it was small. And I ended up getting that, and then that was $30. And then I got a spiral ham. I forgot the ham. Spiral hams were more expensive than a whole ham, but I like the spiral. I don't have to go through the cutting, other than to cut it off the bone and it's already sliced. So I did that and put it on the smoker, give it a little extra smoke, and just had a little slice of that. And then I just did, I didn't go old school where they make the dressing, every step of it, the cornbread. I didn't do all that. I did stovetop stuff and then doctored it. So I got some sage sausage and just did that. Um, Flatbed, hey baby, what's up? How was your turkey day? New job is easy. I like it a lot. I really believe the Lord had me meet that lady at the bus company. Sometimes we think things are going one direction, and God he comes with a whole nother curveball. And now that I look back on everything, even the whole light rail thing, if had I stayed, I would have stayed with that just because it was the money and it was a cool job. But later, like was it, a couple weeks later, Linda sends me a thing where some man got on a light rail with a hammer and was attacking people. Nikki said that I guess he actually ended up killing some folks. I don't know all the details. I saw the news about him attacking people. I didn't know about the killing part, which I'm not shocked about. And every day I leave out of here, I go past bus stops that I used to frequent, and it's scary. I'm just gonna be honest. I ain't gonna sit here and fake the funk. At 54 years old, I'm not wanting to run in, sit up there and try to defend myself for my life because you got crazy behind people getting on the public transit, and it's crazy. It's just crazy. Hey Edward, what's up? I ain't seen you in a minute. How was your turkey day? Yeah, but it was crazy. So the new job, I'm very pleased with. Folks is odd. I'm gonna be honest. We got some odd people, but it's a new generation of people. The thinking is, like I said, in the class I was in, we had 2 combined classes. There were close to 60 people. Half that class when we came out was probably on some kind of corrective action. for attendance, being late, just doing all sorts of things. They tell them you can't use your phone. These kids, and I ain't gonna say kids, some of them my age, under the table trying to. I'm like, is the phone? I don't know. I don't know how a phone is worth your paycheck. I'm not understanding how the cell phone is worth your paycheck that pays the cell phone bill. I'm not understanding. But it's a different mindset. It's I don't know, it's this get over mindset. I'm gonna get over. I'm gonna get over and get my way. I'm gonna do what I want to do. It's a very the Bible talked of a time of a self-centered society, and that is what we're dealing with. He said, "Great, take a class." Edward, Edward. Broham. Let me tell you, it's funny you mentioned. I do have a gun in the house. I don't have bullets from it. It's an old gun that my grandfather had, and I had another one, but I must have lost it in a move because I cannot find it. It was a 9mm. It was heavy, beautiful gun. It was one of my grandfather's guns. I have no idea what happened to it in a move. I don't know if we lost it in a box. I could have lost it because I did lose a storage unit, so I could have lost it in a storage unit. I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, I do have one of the two guns that I got when he passed. And I still have one, but I don't have no bullets for it. So I need to take it in. The problem is I don't know because I took it to have it cleaned and they said it was a little too rusted. They thought it was rusted and maybe not to use it. So I know my grandfather had it, and if he need to use it, he gonna use it. I mean, it clicks and everything else, but I guess for whatever reason they didn't taking it apart. There's a lot of rust on it. I don't know. Anyway, it still still fires and everything as far as like if you use it, but when I took it to a gunsmith to clean it, they were kind of like, I would just, I wouldn't use it. So I thought about buying another one because, like, I hate to say it, folks, something that, well, I personally, on a Christian level, believe we're in a time. So I believe we're in that time that the Bible talks of where lawlessness would abound. People would be very self-centered, self-focused, self-willed on a whole nother level. And I'm going to let you know, in my humble opinion, we're here. Even in the work environment, it's funny. So while I'm at the new company, I actually ran into a girl that I worked with at United Healthcare. She actually was like a coach because she had been there way longer than me when I was getting ready to do claims for them before I went to Aetna. And her and her husband had come when I was living in another complex just up the street. They had come, and she what did she do? She come got some mint because I had a garden, a really nice garden back then, and I had mint. And she saw my mint on I think Facebook or whatever, and she said, "Oh, girl, can I have some of your mint?" And I said, "Oh yeah." She says, "Can I will come pick it up?" I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, I'm going for pho," and it was the first time her and her husband had pho, so they met me at the pho restaurant, and we went and had pho, and I think they gave me a ride back to the house because I rode the bus up, and they met me there. And then they gave me a ride back to the house. And very nice couple. She's black. Her husband was white. He passed away. And so she's remarried now. But I looked up and she over there, she working for the same company. I'm like, girl, she came, gave me a big bear hug. And then we come to find out we're on the same exact team. And on top of that, we sit right next to each other. So it was so eerie because she started in July. And hey, Chicago BBW. And then how was your turkey day? Everybody, how was your turkey day? She started in July. And then I started in October, but we're on the exact same team. We sit right next to each other. I've met her new husband, and he's nice. She married a black guy this time. She's black, and actually he was, I guess, a good friend of her husband's. And so, whatever happened, they started dating, and then they just got recently married. Okay, yeah, I made my meal, and that's what I did. I pretty much chilled. I did a few things around the house, and I chilled. I tried to watch movies, and it wasn't much. What's on TV is horrid. I did just get through watching a show that I actually enjoyed. Even it's kind of like a psychological kind of mystery thriller. I don't like horror movies, so it wasn't really horror, and I can't stand horror. Most horror to me is stupid, but some of it is very demonic, so I can't get into this. This might be on borderline of the demonic a little bit. The name of it is called The Devil's Hour. I think it's The Devil's Hour. And it's a show on... Thank you, Chicago, for blocking whoever the crazy person was. I just saw that. Um, I think it's called The Devil's Hour. And it's a different, it was different, but it's actually, I just got through watching the whole season. And it's funny because we're doing in one of my, well, I just finished a class called Christian Worldview, and it talks about different worldviews. So, and different, different thought process. You got people who think that they're going to be reincarnated. You got people who are atheists. You got people who are like me who are Christian. And they all have different worldviews and they live their life based on that. This show kind of dipped into that a little bit, not on the Christian side, but more on at least what I felt they were kind of touching on, maybe like a coming back in different lives or whatever, past, future, whatever. And there's people who believe in that. But it was interesting. The writing on it was excellent. The storyline is excellent. It kept you intrigued, which is good. It was a little different, but it actually is a very well written show. And seeing that to where it even gets me to where I watch it, and I just watched it all within a day and a half. And I was looking for something on Amazon. If you're an Amazon Prime member, it comes with Amazon. I think it's called The Devil's Hour. I think that's what it is. I think it's British. You British, and I like a lot of British stuff. I don't know why, but British, to me, they just really write well written shows. Even a lot of their TV series, like their sci-fi goofy stuff, I enjoyed, like Doctor Who. I don't know, I enjoy it, and I like a lot of British stuff. I like a lot of their mysteries. Um, like I said, I'm not horror, but maybe thriller, suspense. Some of that I can get onto a little bit. If it gets too dark, I won't. But this one was actually interesting. It's very interesting. But no, the new job is going very, very well. Not hard at all, in my opinion. I mean, still learning it, but everything is scripted. So all you do is read to deal with whatever questions come up, and then you just help people through the application process. I mean, it's healthcare. And then you answer questions, and we can only do so much. They have a different side of the business that I may put in for, that they've been asking for help in. And so if you came in the side of the business I'm in, they're saying, hey, we need help on this other side. We'll train you for this other side. Then if you want to, you can become what they call dual. They give you bonuses just for coming to work. This is how, it says something about the workforce. And it says something about work ethic, that people have to pay you to come to work. I'm not talking about your regular pay. I'm talking about a bonus on top saying, hey, thank you for having good attendance. So I already started out. They gave me attendance bonus. I hadn't even been there 90 days. I got another attendance bonus coming middle of this month coming up, just for the time from the last bonus to current. And I'll get, I think that's close to $320 bonus. They gave me a higher own bonus, which that'll be on this paycheck. And then if you're dual, I guess some point, because we're in a season of where everybody's enrolling in their benefits, which is a big season right now. Someone said we're supposed to get like a $1,400 bonus. And if you were dual, it's almost $3,000 just for coming to work. And you would think that people would come on time. You would think people would want to be at work because they're like, ooh, extra money in my pocket. No, these ninjas call out. Late, don't show up, call out. It's mind-boggling what I see. Yeah, it's just mind-boggling. Some of them they say they called something and ain't called in, and I'm just sitting up there and they weird. I'm like, one talked to me in the bathroom, I almost got fired. Oh, okay. They said I didn't call the line. Oh, okay, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm not trying to be caught up in your drama because that's cray cray. And she laughing. I called. Crazy as hell. I saw this girl in my class. She was late every damn day. Every day. Now she's pregnant, but I'm sorry. There's plenty of pregnant folks that was coming up in there on time. The baby ain't popped yet. Or you still got to survive. And I late every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Then all of a sudden you ain't show up, and the man asking you where you been, and we ain't heard from you. Oh, I called. I was like, oh, okay, well, good to see you. And I'm going to sit down. I don't want no association. Look, high and by. That's it for me. I'm here for a paycheck. Now, I don't know what y'all here for, because it's obviously work is not important to you. And income ain't important to you. But I'm here to get my income. So then people tell me to be there. This my schedule. This is the schedule. I'm gonna be there. It'd have to be a true emergency for me not to show up. So yeah, it's been a little special. And they a little touched. Something wrong with them. It's a new group of humans. They weird as hell. Strange. Strange. They don't care about nothing. It's all about them. They're very weird. Very weird. So that's it. But no, right now I am just chilling. Y'all saw I got a Ninja Foodie. Walmart had them on sale. This is an 8-quart, and they had it on sale for $125. And I have Afterpay, so I broke it up so you can pay it out in 4 payments. But it's normally almost a $300 unit. Right now, they price is $266.77 for it. And they out of stock. I got one, and I was just telling some friends, so now I have that. I'm going to go ahead and donate the air fryer because I just did not like the air fryer on its own. This thing is a combination of a lot of things. It has bake and broil. Hold on. Is it bake and broil, saute and sear? It has something called air crisp where it can make, like, you can do a chicken in there and make it crispy or whatever you want crispy. It has air crisp. It has air fryer. It is a dehydrator, pressure cooker. It's got like 10 different features. It says 10 in 1. So I went ahead and got it's big too. This is 8-quart. My Instapot I have is a 6 or 6.5 quart. And I love my Instapot. And I actually been playing with the foodie. Y'all saw that the dish I put up in the pictures is, I did just my own Asian thing. I had a craving for noodles, so I had some teriyaki ginger marinade. I grated some ginger. I had some Asian noodles, and you can use spaghetti noodles if you want. Just put Asian sauce on them. But I had some Asian noodles in here. I did those. I had some broccoli. I did chicken with it this time. But yesterday when I did it, I just did veggies. And actually, I think I would do veggies again. Chicken's okay. I don't know. It took away from it to me. I just want the veggies now. The veggie one was good. The chicken was okay. Like I said, every so often I'll be on a meat thing and other times I'm not. But the meat had been in the refrigerator, so I wanted to kind of use it because I didn't have room for it in the freezer. I'm thinking about buying, my next move is I am thinking about buying a freezer because both my freezers are stuffed to the gills. And one of them is just a little freezer for like a studio. This one I had on the truck. It had like it really would be for like a studio apartment. It has a little refrigerator down below and then it has a little freezer on top. But that thing is stuffed to the gills, and the one in the refrigerator and the one in the freezer, the top one is stuffed. So I'm thinking about getting a separate altogether freezer. I know Nikki had a refrigerator she's going to give me, but I really didn't want another refrigerator. I wanted a freezer. So Walmart has a freezer. I think it's $169. I may end up ordering it and putting it where this little refrigerator is. And then I'm trying to decide if I'm even going to keep the little refrigerator or maybe sell it on like Marketplace or donate it to Goodwill. I haven't decided. The little air fryer I had is going to Goodwill. So I'll be dropping that off probably sometime next week over here to Goodwill as a donation. I already unplugged it because the Ninja Foodie does it. I'm not a huge air fryer person, but that thing has it already there. So I'd rather just have it in a big unit with a pressure cooker because I was like, this thing is just taking counter space and I can use that counter space for something else. So that was my, I'm going to say semi-Black Friday deal. I got it way before Black Friday. I got it the week before. I ordered it the week before Thanksgiving. So, and it came in just at the end of that week. I think the weekend or whatever. It came in the week, like the weekend before Thanksgiving, that weekend prior to Thanksgiving. So I ordered that. And then I did get I have a hand grinding coffee thing, but I ordered, because they had it on sale. I ordered a electric coffee maker because that sometimes, it's okay every blue moon, but sometimes I need to be moving, and especially now with this shift. And now that I'm not working at home, when I was working at home, I'd be sitting there on the desk doing this. And that didn't bother me. But now that I'm having to go, I don't have my time is weird because it's 2 p.m. to 10:30, and I'm gonna see about going later. I want to go like 3:30 to midnight is what I really want. I don't. We were on a 4 to 12 shift, and I actually like the later shift. I like it for a couple of reasons. 2 to 10:30, it feels like too much of my day is eaten because I have to get up between 10:30 and 11 and get ready because I'm a person, again, work ethic. I leave out of here, especially because I got old man red. I leave out of here an hour, probably about an hour. I leave out, so if I'm supposed to be to work at 2, I leave out of here about 12:30, 12:45. So, and my drive is only 15 minutes. So a lot of times I get in that parking lot, I'll be there anywhere from 45 minutes out to an hour early. So I'm not really far from work. But my thing is, if something happens, I can pull that sucker on the side and I can get a Lyft ride into work so I won't be late. Because again, it's bonus based. And then I'm trying to put some money away because I know I'm going to need to replace Old Man Red. So I need to put some money aside. I don't really want to get into a car loan if I could at all avoid it. And then I've got to pay off to file some other tax stuff so I can go ahead and do my Chapter 7 because I want to have all that together so that when we do the Chapter 7, we can include some of the taxes that are owed. So I've got, I think, 3 or 4 years I need to take care of, and I need to pay my tax guy to get them filed. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on, y'all. We're going to talk about the meat thing in a minute, but let me read comments. Hold on, y'all. So Kathy said, hey. Talked about the job and the gun permit. Oh, that's what I got off the subject, Edward. So I am thinking about getting one. Actually, there's I saw one near my house. There's a couple. I'm in between some pawn shops. And I saw that now that I moved my license back to Arizona, I can go in and get one. Aaron, I learned how to shoot from my grandfather. And I don't know who this Chicago BBW. I think you blocked some chat, some sex chat thing. I don't know what that is. Somebody trying to put something on here. So thank you for doing that. Yeah, food was good. I did that, and then I really also got the pots because I'm going to start doing the barbecue sauce. I also got it because when I start doing, I can't remember if it's Kathy, who it was. One of y'all wanted me to. Y'all said y'all wanted me to do the vanilla, do the vanilla. So I'm also, because the Instapot. So if you do vanilla, it was funny because one of the girls at work, I was talking about her making your own vanilla. And she's like, oh, I tried that. She said, but then I tried to use it right away. I said, oh, you can't use it right away. Not if you're going to do it the way it's supposed to be done. And, okay, Kathy, I thought it was you. So I am going to be working on the vanilla. The pots are for that too. So I'm going to explain this here. So the girl's like, oh yeah, I was still trying to do the vanilla in the bottle. I had watched something she saw on how to make it. And I'm like, it's not hard. I said, but the thing is if you make it the way it's supposed to be made, that vanilla has to sit at least minimum on the low end 30 days, but it really should be 6 months to a year. If you just put it in a dark space and you let it it's almost like it's I don't want to say fermenting because liquor's already fermented, but in a sense it is. The vanilla is absorbing itself with the alcohol is the vanilla beans are causing it to absorb into the alcohol, and that takes time. You can expedite that using a pressure cooker. So you could go ahead and do it and then throw that crap in the pressure cooker and it'd be ready to go. So, then if you let it sit longer, it's just stronger, but you could expedite it. So that's another reason I got it, because one, pressure cookers are going to help me infuse flavors as far as the barbecue sauce is concerned. And then having 2 of them, so I make a spice base for my barbecue sauce. So my barbecue sauce is almost your typical, let's say, a Texas barbecue sauce. I can make others too. And then I have a spice base that I make with Southwestern spices, meaning spices here from Arizona, which would be more Latino and Native American influenced out here in Arizona. So I take it and I take a blend of the spices that we mainly use in this region. And I take that and honestly, I'll mix it together and I pour beer in it. I then it's almost thick. It's almost like I call it almost like a mud. It's so thick and it's dark. And I cook it. And then what I do is when I make the barbecue sauce, I put that in as a seasoning base. And it people are like, what's going on with your sauce? Because it boosts flavor, and the flavor is like, what the hell? Because it's like boom. And so that's kind of how I make my sauce. So having the Instapot is going to, the Instapot and the Foodie, because they're both pressure cookers too, is going to help me make that. So I have to make the base, and then I'm also, instead of doing the sauce on the stove top, I'm going to take one of the pressure cookers and make the main sauce, and then add the base in. Arizona's an open carry state. I already know Arizona. Yeah, we're an open carry. So if you didn't know, Edward, I'm a native Arizonan. We're an open carry state. You can wear your gun openly on your hip. It's open carry. You do not have to have now, if you have it concealed, you do have to have a concealed permit. But we are an open carry state, meaning that you can openly wear a holster with a gun on it. You can carry your gun in your car. It just has to be, if I remember correctly, it has to be in a gun holster. But it has, and if you obviously get stopped, you want to let the police know, hands out, I do have a weapon in the car. So, and most people either have it on your open floor or on your seat if you're going to have it in there. We're open carry. Arizona's open. Wild, wild west. Yeah, wild, wild west. We're open carry. So I'm not really worried about it. Yeah. If it's concealed, then you do have to, I think you have to have a concealed carry permit. And I forgot, they have classes and stuff. I ain't worried about conceal. And mine would be in my house anyway. So it's not something that with me and Old Man Red, I'm not worried about carrying anything now. And also because I go to a job, I've always thought that was weird to carry a gun to a job. Because to me, with all the weird stuff going on right now, I'm not trying to put myself in no weird position. So I would not have a gun in the car, probably unless I was traveling within the state of Arizona. And even then I would carry it appropriately. But, and just doing random travel, but I don't worry about that. I just carry my stick with me. It's my cane or my walking stick. It can also be called a ninja stick. And if you want to run up, we're going to get to swinging. And it's going to be on. It's going to be me or it's going to be you. It's going to be one of us. So, but right now, things, like I said, folks and things are weird. It's like I'm a proponent, Jesus coming back. That's my big thing. Y'all, though, I do want to say this. I don't know how many of y'all saw the article, and I'll have to put it in the community board. You can Google it. So I have been getting I'm on a couple of YouTubers channels, and I watch this one guy, I think it's called Bo of the Fifth Column or something like that. When you see him, you be like, because the first time I saw him was on Facebook. I'm like, this dude looked like a straight up Trumper. I'm like, he looked like one of them racial Trumper dudes. And I'm like, so for whatever reason, I watched his feed, and the dude is nothing like he appears. It's like you cannot read a book by the cover. That's him. He is absolutely nothing like what he appears, and he is highly intelligent. So, and I think he worked for the federal government, and I have a feeling he worked in a defense mode, in something in the very, very smart. This dude is, you looking at him like, really? So I watched him, and then someone else talked about it. I'm like, this is real. Usually he's one who's coming with real stuff. Some of the other stuff, I've always double checked it. So when I heard it twice, it's like, let me go look this up. So CNN has talked about it within the last few days. There are articles about it, and you can just Google it, and you can put lab meat FDA approved or whatever. So our federal government is about to approve a company to produce meat that is grown in a lab. And apparently they're taking something from chicken meat and creating a lab-based version of chicken meat. And they're going to sell it in the regular grocery stores. Now, he didn't even have to go where my mind went, because my mind already went there. So one, we already know that we have issues with the bird flu and all this other stuff with meat. We also have the climate change issue, which is, even though they're not really talking about it, It is having a Kathy said stop the madness. Baby girl, I will link it in the community board and you can go look at it. I'll have to go back and edit this video. Somebody else mentioned this Solon Green to me flatbed. Oh, my friend Joe. I don't know what it is. He said some TikTok stuff. But see, I'm gonna help y'all something because I'm noticing some of y'all are taking some of this social media as truth. And granted, maybe this piece, but I'm seeing stuff that people are watching, and for whatever reason, TikTok is now people's news source. Bizarre. I still go to legitimate news companies such as, and folks can call them what they want, but they've been around for years, and that's what I'm going to. So I still look at NBC. I still look at CNN. I go to solid news sources. I also, if I research stuff, I'm gonna be looking at papers that have been around for a long time, not some fly-by-night company I ain't never heard of. I'm not. And don't get me wrong, some of those companies may grab onto something, but I am going to, it's an old Charleston Heston. Okay, I'll have to look at it. Because he mentioned it. Joe mentioned that Solon Green. I'll look and see if I can find it on YouTube or on what's this? Amazon Prime. Because I'm curious now. Y'all got me curious. So what they're doing is they're going to make a lab-based, well, they've actually already made it. Okay, so the meat has already been made. It's chicken is what they use for this version. And so I'm going to tell you my thoughts, and I'm going to tell you what this man said, and me and him on the same page. And I hadn't researched it yet because I was like, okay, this is weird. Not that I wouldn't trust, because like I said, I've watched him and he's usually on point. And I believe he's got some government connections because he worked in the government before. And I've been watching him for the past 1.5 to 2 years. First time I got introduced to his channel was actually through Facebook. It came as a feed. And I was like, what is this? And when he got to talking, I'm like, he had me hooked. And then I start watching him found his YouTube channel and start watching him there. And he talks about everything from politics to economics. And he makes sense on some stuff. Some stuff I don't agree with. But he's more, when you see him, you wouldn't think he was as liberal, not in the sense of liberal, but he looks like he is a staunch Republican. And I don't know, he doesn't really ever say what he is. It sounds like he may have been or is a Republican, but doesn't necessarily vote that way. Hey, Woodsman, welcome to the channel. Movie came out in the 60s, early 70s. Okay, I'm going to go look because I probably have seen it. Because if I'm 54, so I may have seen it, but I'm going to look because my buddy Joe mentioned it when I had sent him and my friend Linda the information I was getting. And before I get into talk about stuff, I always look to see if I can find it from a legitimate news source. So CNN had an article on this meat. A Christian channel that I watched had talked about this meat. And I'm sitting up here going a little discombobulated by everything, right? And so I went to go look at pictures of, you can tell it ain't quite chicken, but they made it look like a chicken breast. And it's something that's grown in a lab. FDA is about to approve it. My understanding, this part I don't know if true or false, my understanding that it was served at one of the political, whatever, meetings that they had to a lot of the heads of the different countries, and that they served it there. And so I'm going to go. I ain't got no proof. I'm just going to go on what I'm thinking and what I'm sensing in my spirit. So I told a lot of people in my Christian group last year to start saving food, start stocking. I had been having dreams. I had a dream about me and my mom taking, we don't even get along, but we both cooks. And we marching a whole chicken out to the trash can. She got one leg, I got one. And we walk into the trash can like in my backyard here. And we walking this chicken out. Chicken looked perfectly good. Didn't look like nothing was wrong with the chicken. We marching it to the trash can. Girl, I'm getting ready to go here. We marching it to the trash can. And we throw it away. So that was one. Then I saw in another dream, I was standing in line to go into a restaurant, but the line was long, almost like a depression type line. When I got to the countertop, it was like the counter where you get your food. It was like a fish place. And I said, I want this, this, and this. And he said, we're out of this. And I'm pissed because you could have put a sign out there. We don't waited this long. But as I'm walking out the restaurant in the dream, I'm looking at the plates, and there was a very minimal food on people's plates, like a couple pieces of this and that. It's like there wasn't enough food. That was one dream. Then I had another dream that I'm going to presume this friend of mine is in Nevada. And I'm presuming I may have been there. I don't know. But we were at this hotel, and it was three of us. One of the girls was in the room, and my friend comes in, and she has fruit. And she goes to throw a piece of fruit to me, and it's going bad as it's coming through the air. It's going bad. And when it arrives to me, the fruit is bad. I can't remember if I bit into it and then spit it out because it was bad. But you could see. And again, I'm like, okay, I didn't have back-to-back issues with food. Something ain't right. Something's going on. Now, this was, and I'm going to say time frame because it's 2 years, probably about 4 or 5 months into the pandemic. Don't get me wrong. I didn't have problems with food in my house. I had plenty of food. So I wasn't worried about food. It's just so this dream was coming like, okay, and I only dream when the Lord is warning me of stuff. So I start having this heavy unction to stock. And I reached out to my biological father. Grumpy was alive at the time. I reached out to people that I sensed I needed to tell them. I said, you need to start stocking food and you need to start stocking water. I'm having dreams. I don't dream unless God is really talking to me. And all I know is I did that. Now, for me right now, it blessed me during this downturn with the whole job situation. If I had to go to the grocery store, if I spent $20 every few weeks or even once a month, and I'm going to say every few weeks because I went like, if I spent $20 to $40 within the 45 days I was down, I'll be shocked. And all I was doing, because my garden didn't do well, I got my lizards eating my food. I'm going to go out there and go deal with them here shortly. But all I did was get like lettuce, onion, fresh tomatoes, usually fresh stuff, fresh produce. Occasionally meat, but I didn't even need meat. My freezers are packed to the gill right now. I got tons of meat. I got chicken, I got turkey, I got steak, I got pork, both freezers, packed to the gills. I got whole roast, whole like turkey roast from last year, frozen. Two of them, I think. One of them was free from Walmart when they did that free Thanksgiving dinner a few years ago. So I'm packed to the gills. I don't need, I'm fat as hell, so I don't need, but in my hallway, I had every canned goods, anything I needed. Tomato sauce, tomato paste, crushed tomatoes, I got that. Corn, any kind of vegetables that you pretty much have in a can, I got. And I got beans, I got rice. So I'm good on that level. And then I got, if I want pancakes, macaroni and cheese, whatever, I've got canned meats. I got Spam, I got tuna. I even have canned chicken. So and I had Vienna sausages, but I don't think I'm gonna get them again. I had them. I think I'm gonna stick with just the Spam, the tuna, and canned chicken. So I'm pretty well versed. So now all of a sudden, and I'm gonna say this, there's stuff they can share and stuff that I think they can't, because it'll be the behavior we had at the beginning of COVID. And folks went and bought out the toilet paper, and they went and bought all this stuff, and they didn't do it. They did, and that to me was also showing me how self-centered people were. Is, when I started stocking, I didn't go clear off the whole shelf of stuff. My mind was get at least one extra if it was enough. If I could get more, I would, but I wasn't going to leave the shelf empty for someone else, because other folks need stuff too. I was stocking as if it was two people here. I still stock, but not for two anymore. I really must do it for myself. So if I buy a can of something, I always buy an extra can. If I buy a jar of something, I always buy an extra jar. And that's how I stock. Even right now, a friend of mine was just telling me that Neutrogena, by the way, if y'all like Neutrogena, they have at their website, they are 40% off or something like that. And I think no shipping. So she bought a couple of things, but the prices she's paying, I can get through Costco Instacart for the same 2 items she bought. Actually, mine was cheaper in the long haul compared to hers. And they'll deliver right to the door. I ain't got to worry about no shipping. They gonna come right to the door. Well, I already pay a membership fee for Instacart, and me and her are both members because we split our membership at Costco. So they deliver right to the door. And I said, girl, Instacart has it and it's probably on sale at Costco. But I don't know if she didn't know. By the time I told her, because when she told me, I was like, dude, they got it on sale right now. I already have some in supply. I may buy again because it's on sale. So anytime a sale is happening, get your sale. That's why I'm thinking about getting a freezer, because right now I have to stop on buying any meats whenever they're on sale because I don't have freezer space. And you can only leave meat in the refrigerator for so long before it goes bad, okay? So, and other stuff too. There's other stuff I could freeze too. Like you could chop up vegetables that you get on sale and freeze those if you want. But unfortunately, I don't have freezer space. So that's why I'm thinking about 169 bucks for a 5 cubic freezer for one person is not bad. Actually, that would handle anybody in this apartment, 2 people. But I'm thinking about getting it, and Walmart has it on sale. I might afterpay it and just break it out in 4 payments and grab it if it's still on sale when I get paid, because I'm thinking about doing that. And then move it over here into the corner. We'll see. I'm praying on it. Anywho, back to it. So, I had already started stocking. So I already had in play food. So I wasn't worried about, personally, I wasn't worried about anything in the food realm, and I was blessed because of that. So I see that. But I believe that right now we are in a climate, and the things that are happening, we can just not even look at financial levels. We can look at climate issues, and I'm talking about physical climate issues. The amount of flooding, and here in Arizona in the west part of southwestern part, we're in a major, major drought that has not being addressed. And in Arizona, it might be addressed in Cali and some other places, but in Arizona, we still freely using water without restriction. And it was funny, the guy on the end is Native American, and one of his buddies was here working on a car. And he said this, now I don't know true false. This is something, a conversation we had in passing. I think it was hot. And this is right before winter that we're in right now. And me and him were talking. I was like, oh, it's hot. And he said, yeah, you can say that. And I said, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But something came up about water. And he said he was from the Fort McDowell Res. And so I was like, oh, okay. And he said, yeah. He says, they're telling the farmers to water ration. I said, wait a minute, the farmers? He's like, yeah. He said, but then you drive by these dang golf courses and they got sprinkler systems and water them straight up like it ain't nobody's business. Priorities. I looked at him. I said, he said, ma'am, I'm telling you. He says, I'm from the res. And when he told me, I was like, what? We're going to get into it, Edward. I'm going there. So it's me and him talked, and he's talking, and I said, well, priorities, because certain folk, it's important to play golf. And if food becomes expensive, maybe you rolling the right kind of money. And if you got to pay $200 for some meat and some groceries, you're going to be able to do that. And you might have a direct connect. Hell, you might own your own ranch. Who the hell knows? Because you're rolling like that. But for the ordinary people, when the food shortage comes, God bless you. Good luck. Because priorities. Because you still, it just amazes me. And again, it's a mindset of very self-entitled, self-will, self-privilege, and I really don't give a dang about you. So these folks, it's important to water the golf course, but we're going to tell the little hole-in-the-wall farmers, oh, well, y'all need to ration your water. You got to eat. Your body needs to eat and drink water and wash itself. It's more important for you to go out there and ride around a golf court and hit a ball on a green landscape than it is to get food on the table. Something the hell wrong with you. He said, I'll go tackle the cow. Edward, you funny. But so they come up with this meat thing, and my humble opinion, I believe that this is, I think it's a way to circumvent what's coming down, or in their mind, circumvent what's coming possibly in the near future when it comes to food. The climate change has impacted huge farms, possible livestock, possible food that we grow. This is going to be an issue. And during the pandemic, when it seemed, see, a lot of people were so focused on COVID, they weren't paying attention to the climate issues that were happening at the same time. That's why I said I believe God is coming back. It's too much culminating all at once. It's for those of you who are on here who follow me who are Christian, I'm sure most of y'all will agree. There's too much happening at once. So even when I wasn't, I'm gonna say, backslidden and not walking the Christian way, but have a strong Christian foundation and background, we thought, hey, Jesus possibly coming back then. But now it's like it's like a storm that everything is happening at once. It's too much going on at once. From the war we got going on, that out of the blue war with Russia, because none of us still understand why the hell that happened. I think that's about food also. The war that's happening in Russia, and Ukraine, the climate issues that were happening all at the same time, the pandemic that's happening right now here in the US and I believe abroad. We got 3 different things happening. We still got COVID, because people want to act like COVID's over. COVID is not over. We still got COVID. We now got RSV, not only affecting the babies, but affecting people my age and older. We also have other viruses that are coming to the surface, dealing with the respiratory, dealing with breathing. So there is a whole culmination of stuff coming on. Monkeypox. Remember monkeypox? They ain't been talking about it. I don't know what happened. That was hitting heavily in the gay male community, and that traveled over here. So we have a lot that has happened in a very short amount of time. And then we see the behaviors of people. People are weird. It's like, again, I worked in the house for 2 years, but I'm like, people were crazy before when I was working for that trucking company. They were weird, but I thought that was just them. But now it's like there is a level of crazy and strangeness that I can't, it's like people aren't normal. I'm like, you almost want to go, what the hell's wrong with you? They're weird. The way they think, the way they act. I'm gonna give you an example. I had a young girl at the job. She's up there just and I'm watching her. She cries. Something wrong with you? She laughing, and because we talking about time off, and I was like, oh yeah, Fluffy, I'm only taking no time. I'm gonna be here and get that bonus and get my money. I got bills to pay. I got stuff to do. She laughing, talking about, oh, I got that, but I had one pay period. I only had 20 hours. You mean you worked an 80-hour work week, and because she just taking time off, not coming in, scheduling time off, calling out. And my check was only 20 hours. I got bills, and the hell's wrong with you? And the job is not hard. Child, this job is so... People come in, it's all, you just put in what they say, it pulls up answers, you respond based on the answer, and you read what it says. Move through the call, and the calls are long, so you're helping them through an application. It's 2 hours. My calls are somewhere anywhere from an hour to 2.5 hours long. So you get through your day real quick. Folks don't want to come to work. And what's weird, they pay you to come. Something is wrong with y'all. And then the conversations are weird. Like I heard the gentleman behind me, he talking about him and his little girlfriend, and I went on to TikTok, and and TikTok is what they believe is real. I love my buddy. He has a very short attention span. He gets pissed off, but I tell him the truth. He does. I can send him something, which will be a summation, because you ain't got time to talk on the phone. So I do a little video. You can listen to it as you're moving around, doing absolutely nothing, dealing with your family drama. He don't listen. Then he wants me to tell him, no, I'm not going to repeat myself. I done told you once. This is here. Okay, let's talk about something else. His attention span, even watching a movie, he can't get into movies of substance. It has to be some quickie, nonsensical movie. And he's older than me, 60, 64, 60, 65, 66. Nonsensical stuff. I can't. I am not a person that can watch stupid stuff, mindless stuff. And that's another thing. The world is mindless. It's like I'm sitting here, I'm like, this is a mindless conversation. There's no substance to it. Zero. And you're like, there's no substance to this. And what's important, like I said, the phone is important to them. They act like it's going to be, oh, my kid, steady sitting on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, has nothing to do with the kid. They're addicted. That company said, we got to have the phone off. When I hit the parking lot, my phone gets turned off. And if I'm not putting in my locker, it gets locked up in the car. And it's off the whole time I'm at work. Because I came from a generation where we didn't have cell phones. Your family, if there was an emergency and it wasn't about, oh, mama, what chicken do I cook or what you want me to cook tonight? That bull crap. No, it meant Johnny is sick or your son's going to the hospital for this. You got to come home. They would call your boss and your boss would then say, hey, you got an emergency call. You need to go ahead and, take the time off the phone and go step out and handle your business or whatever you're doing for a living. It wasn't and now this stuff is, what's Johnny wearing tomorrow? Oh, okay. Did you heat up this? No. We had chores. We knew what we were supposed to do. We knew if my mother was working, we knew what to heat. I knew what to heat up. I knew how to cook. I knew how to wash clothes. And I knew how to take my clothes out the next day and set the alarm and go to bed on time. If it wasn't an emergency, you wasn't disturbing that woman. No, and hell no. With some bull crap. They're strange. It's something strange, something wrong with people. And like I said, the priorities are weird. I'm just like I said, the only thing is I'm fully astonished at what I see. And I would have never thought that I would have gone a day to work where the kids are sitting in the car smoking weed to pick up their family member for work. You normally wouldn't do that in your family member's parking lot because you didn't want any negative come. But these people don't give a damn. I'm just gonna put it. They don't care. It's a very, very strange mental thought process, and that's why I'm a proponent. Jesus is coming soon because what's going on now is weird. And the way these people think is weird. And the conversations are weirder. And I just sit there. I just sit there and I turn around. I've heard stuff that is mind-numbing. And then I'm also watching them and their behavior is just bizarre. And like I said, and the biggest thing I can see is that people have this, I'm going to do what I want to do. And you can't tell me what to do, shiznit. Old boy from the last administration who trying to get back in again. It was like he unleashed crazy. I mean, whatever spirit he was rolling with, it just jumped all out the jack in the box and went all haywire out in the world because folks is weird. I mean, there is no filter. They're just freaking crazy and weird. And it's like it's okay to be crazy. And now we've okayed crazy. That's the other part. We justify it. Well, you're just being you. You be you. You do you. You're not hurting anybody. And even if you are hurting anybody, oh, well, you got the right to hurt people. You do you. And then we justify crazy. That's the other thing. We justify crazy behavior now. And that's what's even more mind-blowing. You're like, this is crazy. But for those of you proponents of abortion, I'm not. But it's mind-boggling to me when abortion became a form of birth control. So you're going to get popped up and then go get the baby aborted each time? That's just insanity to me. Birth control used to be a condom and some birth control pills. When did having unprotected sex and popping out babies and going to different abortion clinics become a form of birth control? Like I said, everything is weird. The thought process is strange to me. And how things are twisted. The Bible says there's a point in time where things was right is wrong and what's wrong is right. And I'm just like, we hear. Like I said, the conversations I hear are beyond scope. It's weird. It's just weird. And so I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this fake meat that you want to sell me in the store. Now, some people may parallel plant-based meats. I don't have a problem with plant-based meats because all it is somebody who is a vegan or a vegetarian who came up with an alternate to when they used to eat meat. So you make a black bean burger because you miss hamburgers and you make it out of black beans, or sweet potatoes or whatever else you want to make it out of. You come up with soy products in order to stretch food or to make something that has chunks of, let's say, tofu or whatever in it. I don't have a problem with that. You're using a food based thing, but now you're going into a laboratory and you're taking some probably chemical and you're growing some kind of meat some kind of weird way. That's to me is weird to me. And granted, this is probably, oh, well, we're getting into technology to where we're going to be like a Star Trek or whatever, where you had a little, what do you call it, the food replicator, and it talk to it and tell it to make you something, and it makes it out of whatever the hell chemicals, and you eat it. Yeah, that's a sci-fi show, but I don't know if I want to roll like that, dog. I enjoy watching the show. I don't know I want to roll like that. And the question then becomes, we already know that one of the big things of people who went organic foods and the Jetsons, yep, the Jetsons, Star Trek, all of them, right? And they did that, I don't know. And they're trying, it's like they're trying to make what was fantasy become real. It's like now they're taking the cruise, I call them the cruises into space. Oh boy, God, you got the right kind of money, oh boy, I'll help you take a cruise into space. I'm good. Good. But, we're trying to, I don't know if we're trying to get to that point, but I also believe that some of this is because they know what's coming and they're trying to have alternates to shortages of food. So let's justify these labs to make or whatever, however the hell, cloning the meat. I don't know. It's weird to me. Y'all can read, like I said, you can go look at it, just go put a lab meat or lab chicken FDA and see what comes up. CNN was the first one I saw with it. And there's other stuff on it. And Google had a little excerpt about it in FDA. Folks supposedly ate it at one of these political conferences, the heads of states, and they ate it with all the other portions of meat and stuff that they ate. But I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. So definitely when y'all have a chance, look at that. Look at it. We're coming up on our hour. Let me go back and read comments. Let's see if I missed anything. Okay, Edward talked about the state. Y'all, I'm going to watch the Soylent Green. Thank you guys for telling me about that. Joe had mentioned it. Kathy said they'll all have us walking with chicken eye in the back of our head. Are you funny? He said, do you think, Edward, you'll have enough for y'all? Okay, don't be tackling the cow, Edward. Edward say that. He said everybody needs to have a garden. I was working. I still have my garden stuff in the back. I'm going to be working back in there. I'm actually getting ready to order some seeds on this next paycheck. And I have seeds I can do right now. I have a problem. I have lizards, the little ninjas. And I had my little lettuce growing. I had good little batches of lettuce. And they were growing. They get up to a certain point, and next thing I know, I saw bites. The hell's eating the lettuce? So finally, I'm watering them, growing my stuff. Then in the tomatoes didn't good because I got hit with tomato hornworms. I didn't catch them all the time, but you can always tell when it's a hornworm. You see them. You see the results of them. You know they was there. So I hit that with BT. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some netting. And I'm going to set up netting. I saw a lady on here, and that's what she did. She has netting set up on hers. And I'm going to end up setting up netting. And then probably getting some garden stakes and staking it down. I'll probably use tomato cages, wrap it around there. And I think that's the way to keep the lizards out. And I'm going to have to set up probably tomato cages on most of my garden where it's something edible. Because next year when I do or summer hits, when I do the tomatoes, I'm going to definitely have netting for the tomatoes to keep out the tomato hornworm, which is, it turns into a butterfly. And it's a beautiful butterfly. But they worm or they caterpillar stage, them little ninjas is aggressive. They will eat up the whole plant. Horrible. They horrible. They're horrible. And they sit there on the plant and they blend in, so you got to catch them. I caught, how many did I catch? I think I did 2 or 3 last year. And I didn't get tomatoes because it was too hot. This time my tomato plant was doing really good, but every time, them little ninjas, them little tomato hornworms. My lettuce came up, was doing really good. Next time I know I got bites, and then I find out, I go out there one night, and here he is on the side. And I was like, oh, that's who eating up. And they had a whole family out there. They done had little lizards. I had little baby lizards when I get the little translucent ones in the back. So we gonna have a come to Jesus meeting. But I got something. We gotta have a solution for the critters. So yeah, but I'm with Edward. You need to. My grandmother had a garden in the back. My grandfather had a garden. He grew okra, squash, greens. My grandmother she did greens. I don't know. I think she maybe had okra too. She mainly had greens, I think, and okra. I don't know if she grew like tomatoes. Those were her big ones. Both of them were from Oklahoma. So they always had greens and they always had okra. And then, like I said, my grandfather, he did squash. So he would do squash too. I don't know if they ever grew corn or I don't remember corn, and I don't remember tomatoes. But we're gonna get a successful tomato year. Like I said, my garden at my other apartment, it failed the first time. The second time I got it going. I put up a misting system. I had a drip system. And this year, that's the other thing. I was missing the drip. So I do have a drip thing over here, and I'm gonna get one more and try to get the drips going, because that makes a huge difference trying to be out there and get it, because it's easier to water it on a schedule, but it's also easier not to waste water. And that's huge right now in the situation. So I'm going to definitely do that too. Let me see here. What else we got up in here? Yeah. Yeah. This whole thing. But y'all look up that meat. Look up that meat situation, and you will see what I'm talking about. There's a lot going on. Car prices are going to come down as far as used cars. One of the big major car companies online car companies that I work for, I think they're in trouble. You guys are going to probably see more about it. They just did a layoff of 1,500 people more. And I think they said, and one thing I read, they lost 100. They're in a negative loss right now, 1 billion. One guy who I guess does financing in cars, he said that he's guesstimating there'll be $2 billion, and they'll probably be filing bankruptcy within the next 6 to 8 months. They're actually the things where they display their cars right now. I know that in certain states they've sold them and then leasing them back from the company they've sold them with. So it's God opens doors. He knew it was time to leave. And I kind of had prayed because I was seeing stuff that was not right. And that just told me, you folks is in trouble. Something's janky. But like I said, everything as far as the new company, that's cool. Like I said, it's government contracted, so I'm not too worried about that. The lady who referred me has been there over 20 years. And actually, one of her relatives, she told me to look for, who started the same time as I did, but she was part-time, so she was in a different training class. She actually is on my team too. So, and I was like, wait a minute, do you know? She said, oh, that's my cousin, auntie, whatever they are, related. I said, yeah. She goes, oh. I said, she told me to look for you. I said, but I'm full-time and you were in a, I said, you part-time? She said, yes. So we had 2 different classes. But so far, I like it. Pay is better than the bus company. And because of the differential, it's meeting, for part of my shift, it meets the same pay as the light rail. The sign-on bonus was not as big as the bus company, but with all of the freaking just show up to work bonuses, it's superseding the bus company sign-on bonus. So, and then I'm just in an office. The only crazy people I got to deal with is the weird folks sometimes I work with, because there's some odd people in there. And like I said, but it's a generation. Some of it is my age, but some of them, most of them are younger, and they don't, work ethic is not there. Like, I don't understand the pants sagging. They tell you stuff. Do not have your pants sagging. Do not wear oversized. And everything they tell them to do, they do the total opposite. Basically, I'm going to do what the hell I want to do until I guess somebody sends them home. It's bizarre. It is bizarre, and it's I'm like, woo, drama. But I realize it's a different generation of humans. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I could give a dang otherwise. Deuces. Anyway, y'all, let me get my little butt off of here. Let me see. Y'all got any other things? I hope everybody had a good turkey. And I'll probably do, I'm going to try to, I think, every other week do one. Woodsman, welcome to the channel. Everybody else is family. I know y'all to the family. I got Kathy on there. Talked to Edward. Chicago BBW. Thanks for blocking whoever that was with the sex crap on there. Flatbed, I know. Edward, I know. And Woodsman, you the newest person, and thank you for coming to the channel. But I'm gonna see about this Solid Green movie, because this the second, somebody else had mentioned it, but I got to get back here and do some homework, because I got something to do. It's got to be in by 11:59 tonight, and I got to work on that. And I slept, the schedule, I'm 2:30 to, no, 2 to 10:30, and it's too mid of the day for me. I need something a little bit later. When we were in training, we were 4 to 12:30, which is a nice shift. My only issue with it is like for on a holiday, if any of your shift goes into the day after the holiday and you're supposed to come back in, they expect you to come up there. So if you had like the 4 to 12:30, I would have to be there at 12:30 midnight, or excuse me, 12 midnight to work from 12 to 12:30. So the shift I'm trying to get is either 3 to 11:30 or 3:30 to 12. And I'm really hoping for 3:30 to 12. Because it's a little bit later, but it's not so late that it pushes the shift into the next day. And then I keep my days off. My days off are Saturday, Sunday, which I like. Trying to think if I wanted to do the 10-hour shift again, but I can't, no. The Monday through Friday, because it's nice having a third day off, but I don't know that I want to be in the office. I like going in and having my little 5 days and being out. I do miss having the 3 days off, so I miss that, but I don't want to go in any earlier, and I pretty much work my schedule and come home. They have overtime sometime, but I just, and like I said, it's easy. I've got, with the homework and school, I haven't. Anyway, y'all, you watch this later on, give it a like, thumbs up, share it out. 2 and 2, y'all be blessed. I will let y'all know once we have the vanilla extract, and I'll also let you know once I do the barbecue, because I will be selling it. So I'll let you know. I'm be working on it. We already have the ingredients. I got to order bottles. And so the bottles I was going to use, I'm not going to use those. I mean, I may use them for myself and some people personally, but they're not the size bottles. And I want the ones I have plastic lids. I want the ones with the metal lids. And I have a company I can order them from. So I'm going to be ordering those. And then I'm also looking for Tahitian vanilla beans, and then Madagascar, I believe is the other one, beans. Those are the only 2 vanillas I'll be jacking with. And I'm also looking at vodka prices and probably spicy rum prices, because I may be doing 2 types, one with vodka and one with the spicy rum or spicy whiskey. You can use any of those 3 to make it. But yes, if you guys decide to do it on your own, you cannot make it like, oh, I'm going to make it right now and use it. It's not going to work. You're going to be drinking straight alcohol with pieces of vanilla in it. It's not going to be the same thing. It has to sit, and or you have to make it so it forces the infusion of the vanilla into the alcohol. So just so you know. Anyway, peace, y'all. 2 and 2. I'll holler at you.